when I went to do a television thing for the very first time, I sat on a stool. When I got up from that stool, I started walking off the set. And the cameraman says, hey, the number one rule in TV is don't leave the set with your microphone on. The number one rule in speaking is don't walk on the stage with your microphone not on. All right, but here we go. She who speaks best goes to the top of the leaderboard. But I suppose you're busy. You sometimes feel like this, am I right? And I suppose that you go to the bank and you have all the money you need to do your job every day, right? And then all those IT systems that you have in place, you know how to run all of those and they never break down? And then no legal issues whatsoever, no insurance issues. And then you never have trouble with the big bosses, do you? You never have trouble with the big bosses or the partners? And you never feel like this. Does that look familiar to anybody? Did I hit any of them? Any others you want to throw out? What? Anything else that you have to deal with every single day that drives you nuts? Well, that's why it's hard to think about speaking, because you face so many challenges every single day of your job. So I want you to do me a favor. Do you remember the first day you went to your job? Do you remember the first new client you got? Do you remember the first day your company opened? Do you remember the purpose and the mission and the conviction you felt that day? Well, the reason we feel all those other things that I just mentioned is because we lose sight of this. But here's the big question. Can you speak with that same kind of conviction? Do people around you know what your purpose is, what your mission is? Do they know you're convicted about what it is you want to do and want them to do? But public speaking, and even everyday speaking, and practicing that looks like this, doesn't it? How in the world do I have time to do that? But it is the number one way to advance your career. Everyday speaking, being bolder, is the number one way to advance your career, to get more buy-in, to get leadership positions, and to increase your ROI. What if I told you that this kind of speaking is the number one way to grow your business? Everyday better speaking is the number one way to get to the top of the business that you're in. So what does everyday speaking look like? Did you hear the little drip? If you are being bold and doing great everyday speaking, you have the opportunity to have it. And that ripple goes out. And people around you notice. And not only that, but there are researchers who say that you don't have to do anything. You don't have to go to any more classes. You don't have to learn anything else. If you just increase your speaking proficiency, all of these things can come to you. And I'm not saying stop learning. But just better speaking can get you all of this. But researchers have proven it over and over again. And here's how it looks to me. Down here, when you go to network this afternoon, you're going to say, what's the number one question? And somebody's going to go, I'm a work over at the, and what are you going to do? You're going to do the back step and look to see where you all can go. And that person has no sphere of influence. Maybe the cat, that's about it. That's about it. But then you get a little better. You're still not so great, but you get a little better. Do you know what people do? They say, I get it. I get it. And you like that. They accept what you have. And then local business around you starts to pay attention. Then when you develop great proficiency, people start to use aspire language. They start to say, you know, I want that for my office. I want that for my team. I want to be like that. I want what you're talking about. Don't you know that the broader business starts paying attention? You get a little bit better, and people start acting on what you say. Isn't that a miracle? You say something, they act on it. You get a little better at everyday speaking, and the people around you will act on what you say, and you better believe that senior leadership pays attention to that. And your clients, raise your hands if you're an entrepreneur. Your clients pay more attention to that. And then, here's where it gets good. Up at the very top, when you master speaking of any kind every day, just the normal things you do, the global community starts to pay attention, and you become a thought leader. And you know why? Because people want to achieve their fullest potential. Without being told you have to achieve your potential. They want to be all they can be. because of the way you talk. Does any of that sound good? Here's another way it works. This is the correlation between your audience response and your speaking proficiency. You notice that's the dashed line, and then there's another line right below that. That little line has a lag on it. But as soon as you start speaking better, it takes a minute or two, but people start noticing that. Your audience response goes up. Not only that, a little while later, the whole organization notices, and you take your organization up with you just by speaking better. So on your chair, you might have had a speaking ops analysis. Did you have a sheet that looked like that? Looks like this? Yes, no? You passed them out. There was so much. Somebody says here they are. Somebody's got one. Okay, so it looks like this. Nope, it's a sheet that looks like this. Don't worry about it. I'll get them to you later. But what happens is on the left side, nope. It's a page of paper that somebody was passing out. All right, so look, this is what you do. My producer, my first producer at Channel 9 said, Fox, you better be good at Plan A because Plan B never works around here. So we're going to do Plan B, all right? So imagine that you have some columns in front of you, and in one column, you're writing down several opportunities during a day or a week when you have to speak. So since you're not going to write it down, shout them out to me. Where do you have a chance to speak where it could make a difference? Who said that? What was it?
I said loan committee.
Loan committee, that sounds important. So you can have one of these and then you become the runner. See how that works? Okay. That's what you get for answering first. You can have two. All right, so what else? What other places do you have to speak that can make an impact?
Networking luncheon.
Networking luncheon. Stacy. Community involvement. Clients. So you get the idea. There are lots of places every day. And you know what we do? We don't always eat the big orange pill. Plan, prepare, practice before those events. So in the next column, you would write down who the most important people are. And when you see their names on that list, you better believe you're going to start practicing for those little, small, everyday speaking events because they can have an impact on your ROI. So what does bold, everyday speaking mean? It means you have to be believable. You have to be believable. Now, one of the words I put up a picture of Dolly Parton and the word believable. There's an oxymoron in the room here. Now, this is going to be politically incorrect. I apologize from the get-go. But I had a chance to interview her years ago, and a lot of people were with me. It was a bunch of talk show hosts that they pulled around the world to come to the interview site. And they were all going to ask her the big question. What's the big question? Oh, there's some nice lady on the front row said that. She said that, I didn't. So I say, Dolly, I'm going to really do this up so she answers it right for me. Because all the other talk show hosts didn't get an answer out of that question. If you didn't hear that question, you can ask her. Okay? So I say, Dolly, is there ever a time you want to take the wigs off, flip those fingernails off, let the air out of anything you can, and just be Dolly with that thing? See how I slipped that right in there? She started laughing. This here is just a good barn. You can paint her up so she looks pretty. You can put the powder on. But if you take all the paint off, honey, she's still a dang good barn. So I have no idea whether they're real or not. But here's what she said next. I'll come from a little old county in Tennessee where we don't have enough food for our tables. We don't have enough books for our schools. We don't have enough fuel for our winters. And our kids suffer. And I thought if I came out here to LA and sang a few little songs, not a person out here paying attention to little Dolly Parton. I made up this character, and you better believe I'm sending a whop load of money back to my community. Dolly Parton knows exactly who she is. She knows what she's doing, and she knows why she's doing, and that's what makes you believable. And I believe you know that for yourselves as well. This is Janet Ray Fox, corner Montgomery and Locust Street, Shelbyville, Indiana. Whew, when you see this picture, what do you see? Pass the candy. What do you see? Little girl, little boy. Notice the broken down roof? That's what I see. Poverty. See the broken fence, see the broken window, see my brother's dirty knees, and I guarantee you I had one of those dirt rings around my neck, if not two or three. And that's my mama. Isn't she beautiful? I would walk down the streets and guys would holler, "Little Foxy, you're cute, but your mama, she's purty. Little Foxy, you're okay, but your mama, she's gorgeous." Well, that right there set up 60 years of being second-class citizen. No self-esteem issues here. But she also had a big, long razor strap, and she also had forsythia switches and coat hangers, and she used them on my brother and myself. But this is my great Aunt Lottie, and I got to go to her house, and she had real cashews in the can. I could eat as many as I want. Anybody remember nickel Coke? Oh, you do not. Joan Houlihan is lying. Okay? Nickel Cokes, okay? No, Elaine. Nickel Cokes. And I could have them as many of those as I wanted. And she had a TV. I mean, a real live TV. And so I got to watch Miss America one night. And I'm telling you, I said I was going to be that Miss America. And I went to my bedroom that night, my filthy old bedroom, and I put that cape on my back, and I walked down that aisle. And then I got a crown, and I loved their dresses. And I don't know what attracted me to their shiny teeth, but I wanted shiny teeth like those girls. And I remember at 8 or 9 years old, standing on that dirty old bed, looking at the dirty old mirror, saying, "I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I'm going to live like they live, not like this." Now, I don't suppose any of you think that I'm going to tell you I got to be Miss America. Why is that funny? Come on, you're hurting my feelings here. I looked better in my younger days. I got to be Miss Shelbyville, Indiana, and I'm telling you, that was a big deal. I got to give out ribbons to the grand champion cows, pigs, and chickens in the 4-H barns. That was a really big deal. No Miss America for me, but I'm telling you, I'm out of there. I'm out of there. So how did that little grungy kid make it to Channel 9 News for 20 years? I wish I had a secret. I think this is the only secret I can give you. My daddy, every day of my life, as far back as I can remember, and if we were alive, you'd still be saying it, "Opportunity knocks. In walks Janet Fox. What are you doing new today, little Foxy?" And that's how I walked my life. Know what color is your parachute? I know it was some big businesswoman in the sky who laid a path for me. And all I did was walk it. And today I can stand here in complete awe and gratitude for the life I've been able to live. Awe. So let me ask a question. What did you feel when I showed you that old ratty house? Throw it out. What did you feel?
Sad.
Sad. What did you feel when I showed you that pretty mama?
Sad.
Well, no, you liked her for a minute. She was pretty. And then what did you feel when I told you what she did? Angry. And how did you feel for me? And how did you feel when I told you about my really pretty Aunt Lottie? My Aunt Lottie's clothes matched. All of her clothes always matched. She looked like you. She'd fit right in right here with her little pretty felt hat, and she wore little gloves that matched everything. So how did you feel when you met Aunt Lottie? Safe. I was safe. I was loved and safe. I don't know why. I thought when I was a little kid, when I went to her house, she always put me in a bubble bath. I thought that's because she loved me. I really think now it's because of that dirt ring on my neck. But she had a little fingernail brush. She used that on me too. So I just gave you, I think, what's called a phenomenological experience. I told my story standing here like I could feel it to my bones. Could you feel me feeling it as I told it to you?
Yes.
When I tell my story like that, guess what? My feelings jump in the pit of your belly. How I tell my story determines what reaction you will have. So when you tell your story like you mean it with deep conviction, whatever it is, when you tell your business story with deep conviction, if you are out talking to your team and you want them to improve something, you tell them a story that makes them want what you want them to want. And your business will grow. You have to make them feel. Bottom line, you have to make them feel. Fastest way to change behavior in the heart or the head.
Heart.
Now, all you ladies who are married to a bad guy, you had him on paper as a bad guy, but your heart said, "I'm going to marry him," and he's been arguing with your mother ever since, right? So act like you don't know what I'm talking about. And I know what I'm talking about too, okay? Fastest way to change behavior is through the heart. But look at this. This is so exciting. This is relatively new research. Your brain loves good storytelling too. Dr. Paul Zak says stories have a way of changing the dynamics in our brain. They release oxytocin, that is not Oxycontin. They release oxytocin, and it's called the love molecule. You can read about that later. But what it also does is that molecule releases a feeling of trust, cooperation, and empathy. A good story or a good movie, that's all it takes. Now, I'm not going to use the word pounce here. I'm not going to say pounce. But when you've told a good story and you're trying to make a new change or add on more programs or giving somebody more responsibility or generating new ideas, do it right then when the oxytocin is running through their brain. And you can tell what happens to their facial expressions. Zen-like thing happens. So when you see that, that's your moment to make the change you want. Did my story change the mood in here? Did it change the attitude? You thought I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, right? I was not born with straight hair. It can change a belief. It can change your mind. Have I changed your mind already about the importance of stories? Yes, I have. And the story did that. It can change direction, change opinions, change the pace of a meeting. It can change your team's behavior, change your outcomes, and it can make you more believable. And that's the first bedrock you have to stand on as a good speaker, as a good everyday speaker, is you are believable. So here's how to tell a story. It's so easy. Your client is stuck. You carved out a little opening. Your client said yes, and your client overcame a big obstacle and you saw great results. How many sentences did I use?
4.
But did you picture a client as I was saying that? And you saw that outcome? Now, if I tell you that my coaching client did a TEDx talk and had 10 million views, do you want that for yourself someday? Maybe. So that's not true. But I've coached 46 TEDx speakers. But the point is, if I tell you something about my client that you want, you make your client want it. So tell the story. And that's all it takes. Now, the next thing you have to be is on target. And I don't mean you have to know your target audience. I love you because you are my target audience. Raise your hand if you've heard me speak before. What the heck are you doing here? Oh my gosh, I thought it was 20, that was 50. Yeah. I know that I love you women, and I want the best for you. I want you to feel your fullest potential. That's why I do this. So it's not about knowing my target audience. It's about being on target, from the pit of my belly to the target audience in front of me. That on-target feeling starts inside of me. Now, Taylor Swift, I was sent to interview her at FedEx Field, and I had a producer who said, there's this little 16-year-old, she's going to be a big songwriter, la, 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 la. She's going to be a star. I go to FedEx Field, and I see this little thing with arms that dangled out here like this. She had a hat down over her eyes. I said, do you really love singing? Where were you last week? I don't remember. So what's your goal? I don't know. Where do you get your ideas for your songs that you write? From my life. Your life? She's 16, years old. But is that child on target? First to sell $1 billion worth of records ever. Anybody in here know who this is? This is testing whether or not you watch those football games on Sunday with your husband. I do, I love it. This is Jameis Winston. He went to the pro day where all the scouts come to watch. Most quarterbacks on pro day throw 50 passes and get out of Dodge. He threw 102 passes, and he connected on 91 of them. And as my daddy would say, 4 that he missed hit the guy in the letters, and he should have had him in his hands. So, is he on target? He is on target. But look, they can look at iTunes overnight. They can see their win-loss column. They know whether or not they're on target. How the heck do I know? Well, because somebody came up. Where's Sandy? This is going to make me cry. Where's Sandy? Sandy came up to me and she said, I'm really looking forward to this. When somebody and some others of you said that too. So when somebody tells me that before my talk, I know it's on target. And then during the talk, if you're nodding your heads, I see people nodding your heads, and A, you are still awake, and B, you're smiling in the right places. This is a good on-target audience, okay? And then the comments after. I really got Aspire language. I want that. And then the wish language. Wow, I'm going to go home and do that right now. And they go out and take actions, and you get higher sales, and you get more buy-in, your teams are more productive. That's when you know that your messages in your everyday speaking have been on target. That's what I want for you. Likability. Now you say this is shallow. People do business with people they like every time. If you have to do business with somebody you don't like, it's life or death, because I'm not doing it anymore. So I have been asking all over the country, what does likability mean? And these are some of the words they use. A friend of mine wrote a book called The 11 Laws of Likability. I would like you to try to say that fast. And there were two that I hadn't thought of. Patience and perception. And here's the big one. Be a good listener. And likability's secret weapon is listening. And it doesn't sound like this.
But Linda, honey, look at this. Right now, they can't do anything if we can't get everything out of the wall. We're gonna break everything down.
I'm not breaking anything down. I'm just letting you know you cannot have cupcakes for dinner.
Linda, this thing never belongs to you. Anything, you can't get anything and anything and anything.
I'm done arguing with you.
I'm not arguing with you. Linda, I'm not arguing.
This is my grandson.
Don't act like we haven't listened like that. Our team members trying to tell us something, we yell it, and don't ever say it again. As soon as you say yell it, your team member knows you're not listening. Now, my husband once said to me, Fox, can you just clean up those plastic containers out of the sink? And I said, yeah, but when you clean up all of those magazines and newspapers around the chair in the other room. And then that was a 3-day fight, and at the end of it, my father was an Indiana hick, and his father was an uppity Yankee. So don't say yell it, all right? Instead,
well, I got you something that Linda might not like, but I just thought, since you flew all the way here to see me, we're going to give you some cupcakes.
if the president's right there, I want to give him cupcakes. Look at his face. She was voted most likable in America for 2 years in a row. Why? Pass the candy, what? She listens. Have you ever seen her do one of those journalist gotcha questions? No. She sits and laughs at them. She talks with them. And she gives them lots of stuff. So I don't know what you can figure out how to give to your team, but spa day, whatever it is, but give them lots of stuff, you're more likable. And then I needed to be daring. And this is what I mean by daring. You know I'm going to say stand apart from the crowd. You know I'm going to say take big risks. But I want to say throw your people a lifeline. You have somebody on your team, you walk by her every day and say she's got a bad attitude. She's drunk again. She's hungover again. She was fighting with her husband all night again. She did not have a good night's sleep. That lady has one bad attitude. Well, that lady probably feels just like this. She's got an issue somewhere. And if you throw her a lifeline, if you stand with her in hard times, and you use one little tiny word, anybody know what it is? We can fix this. We can get this done. You're doing a fine job. I understand it's difficult, but we can take this a step further. And that attitude changes. Now, I don't usually talk about the what, but that what works. I talk more about the how, but that what works. So here's what you have to do. You're asking now, well, all right, how do I do all this? You do some little tweaks, and it's not going to sound like this.
So I know this is your trademark thing and everything, and I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I want to hear more smile, I think. Let's make it a little bigger. That was too big. That was great. It was just too many hoes. You lost a little joviality there.
It goes on and on. I just want you to
That's not how I wrote it.
I don't think we
These guys are trying to change, something is perfect. Have you ever seen a bad sandwich? No. Well, maybe once in a while I can't do it, and okay, maybe his nose is a little too red and what he had to drink last night, but Satan is perfect in your kids' eyes. And you are perfect in my eyes. No matter how you speak today, you've accomplished what you've accomplished because of your ability to convince somebody somewhere to follow you. And that's perfect. Now, my daddy could always find a little tweak on perfection. And that's who I am too. So it's not about the what, it's about the how. So the way you speak to your team starts with your visual rhythm. They see you in the morning coming in with that face like this. And they see you slumped over like I do. It's my mother's back, I'm sorry. But they need to see you all day with your words matching who you are, and your hands and your whole body matching what you're saying. Because seeing you first is where they form their perception. Does that shake anybody out? Is that a little tiny bit of an eye-opener? This guy's very interesting when you say it doesn't have any sound on him. He's going to get excited in a minute. Be careful. Watch closely. That was it. So a college professor showed this video to his class and asked how long people would watch before they clicked off. How long? 3 seconds. You're a much nicer person than those others. He showed it to a master's degree class. How long do you think? 3 seconds. If you are standing in front of your team doing this, monotone voice, then I'm telling you right now, they're not listening. They're not taking it in. You can't deliver like this and expect them to get it. Would you want to listen to them? No. Why do you think I'm up here raising my head? So now, I know you hate presenters who make you all stand up in the middle of it, but your posture matters. And I do have my mother's back. I try so hard. My husband's most often used language was, Foxy, put your shoulders back. So what I want you to do is all stand up. It's only going to be a second. And put your hand right here. Now give me your at-rest posture. There it is. There's Virginia Fox. That's my mother right there. Now some of you look too good. Give me your at-rest posture. Now slap this and lift. Lift 2 inches, lift 4 inches. You don't have to lift your head. You don't have to put anything back so other things stick out. You just lift this thing and watch what happens. All right, so now give me your at-rest posture. Anybody want to hire any of these people you're looking at? No. Now do this. Now how many of them will you hire? I'm talking about a tweak, a little tiny tweak, 2 inches of a tweak. You can sit down. Now here's the next thing. If you stand up like that, you automatically lose 5 pounds. That's the bonus right there. And now, what's the number one reason you hate to have to talk in front of a group? And don't like it. Number one reason. Fear. Fear of what? Looking stupid, but you're not going to believe this. That's what's a couple of candies over there. This table's working. This table's paying attention. You know what people say to me? I don't know what to do with my hands. Something as simple as I don't know what to do with my hands. You are never going to have that problem again. Elvira, can I get you to come here a second? This is Dr. Elvira Barracuchilla, and that took me a long time to know how to say that, and she's got a wonderful TEDx talk in her. Now here's what I want you to do. Shake hands with somebody and let this little thing go in there, and then let your hands come out like this. See, she did. Let your hands come out like this. Not like this, not like this, like this. Do it. Shake hands with somebody. Yep. And let it come out. Now get your hands up like this. Get them up like this. Are you ready? I want you to repeat after me. And your hands have to match the auditory rhythm because this is part of your visual rhythm. Are you ready? Say, everybody. We can keep going with these numbers. I'd like to thank you for your work yesterday. I'd like to thank you for your work. Take a look at my slide. Over in Pittsburgh. You all don't know where Pittsburgh is. I don't know which way to go. I'm not telling you to say, my boy likes to play basketball. I'm not asking you to be wicked dramatic. I'm just asking your hands to do what your words say. Let your hands follow your words. I could have said, I just walked that little path and I stand here in complete total gratitude. Would that have meant the same as the way I tried to tell it? No. These hands augment and enhance every word you say. And they're either working for you or they're looking limp. So I want you to use them. See, I started to show you how I can't do it without using my hands. Use them, so then you say, what's the big question after I've said all this? You've got a big question, what is it? What do you do with them when you stop talking? Nothing. Let them drop down and rest, and then bring them up when you start your next sentence. And here is what you do not do with them. That's called the fig leaf position, and I just was not critical. I just happened to catch two of them at the same time, trying to hide something. And I don't know about you, but when I put my hands here, you do not have to tape what I'm saying now. When you put your hands here, where do your eyes look? And I look in there. And somebody, I think I know who it is. It's a woman who's written a book, and she's done a great TEDx talk on body language. It's absolutely fabulous and wonderful. But somewhere in her book, I think she's told people that this is a leadership position. This is a leadership position that you can talk like this. Every anchor woman is doing it now. Well, have you seen people do this? This is the leadership triangle. Well, you're still looking at your belly button, and your hands get a little tired, and there they are again. Please, don't do the leadership triangle. Just let your hands move with you. When you are at a bar, anybody been to a bar lately? I see those hands, sisters. Anybody been to church lately? Anybody been to a networking event lately? Well, I can tell you right now, if we took video of all of you standing around talking today, your hands would be working just in time with your words. They would be working perfectly. So let them have at it when you're talking to your team, when you're talking to that client, or when you're talking to the big bosses. Whatever it takes, just let them keep moving. You don't want to do that. This is the belly button, woman. So put your hands on your belly button. And this is what happens when your hands get like this. You realize suddenly, oh, I've got to have a gesture. So I think I'll just go. It's time for another gesture. I don't know. To me, it looks like the Venus flytrap. So don't stick your hands there. And there's a wonderful woman who lives in Chantilly. I love her with all my heart. She has the most incredible personal story. She should be speaking to you and you would cry. But she came in to me and she said, I just want to tell a story better. I want to tell stories better. I said, well, why don't you just stand up here and tell a story, and I'll just listen, and we'll try to see what we need to do. I was working for my boss one day, and he told me that I needed to have more presence. And I thought, oh, she looks just like Amy. Oh, what am I going to do with this? I said, this is a beautiful story. Let me just video this for you. I video the story. She looks at it. She says, oh my God, I look just like a freaking penguin. Yes, because when you see it, you can fix it. She saw it. She fixed it. We don't want to have any patterns. There's a guy who works in the Vienna office, talks to his team like this. I had to work a week to learn how to do this. Please clap for this. Because I had to work all week. And he said, look, team, what we've got to do is this. And I thought, what are these young guys, all young spiky-haired boys? I wondered what they heard. And two kids sitting right here said, well, there goes old chicken wing. They know what they saw, but they don't have a clue what they heard. So don't do any distracting patterns, no patterns. Just shake and follow. You've got to have eye contact. Raise your hand if you think I've looked directly at you at least once today. Yes, okay. I try so hard, and where I'm really bad is in the periphery. So if I know that, why don't I look at you all more? You have to know where your patterns are, and then make sure you're spreading it around the room. Now, it's not just eye contact, it's face-to-face contact. Who in here is 6 feet tall? Tall guy. Are you the fun art guy? Are you the fun art guy? Stand up. If we had a dog on his table, and you're 6 feet, okay. So now if I'm standing there talking to him, he cannot stand there and hold his head like this and look down while he's talking to me. What do I think of him? What? What did you say? Honey, that's not in the script. If somebody's standing there taller than me looking down like this at me, I think think they're cocky and arrogant, don't you? Stick your chin up in the air a little bit. Yeah, if I'm...
see my glasses, I got
We can fix that, okay. But my point is, if he's looking down, and some people who are across the room see him, he's fried. He's not believable, and he's arrogant. But he already knew, because when he stood up, how did he look? He leaned in, and he looked very gently toward me, face to face. So if you see somebody shorter, bring your face to theirs. And if you are a short person, don't stand there and look like this and talk up like this. You can have seats. They're getting around the applause. He minds his manners. He doesn't sit down until he's told. That's brave, okay? So if you are a smaller person and you talk like this up to a person like that, what does that look like? Meek, and what else? Intimidated. Afraid. Somebody once said, subservient. And my husband will tell you, I don't have that bone in my body. So no, you can't, if you're not too tall, you can't just look down here and expect them to get you. You don't have to tilt your head up because you'll look cocky to somebody else who's looking. But just lift yourself up, and all of a sudden you get 3 or 4 more inches. And then you can kind of tilt your head a little bit to look up. But you've got to get face to face, not just eyeball to eyeball. And not only that, if I think I'm looking at your eye and I'm just aiming for your face, I might miss your eyeballs, and you can tell it. If I'm looking at your eyeballs and I'm looking for your black eyeball dots, I make connection with your eyes. I make real connections with your eyes. Even if you've got the blackest eyeball dots I have found. And there's no way I can find them, but I'm aiming for them. I'm aiming for those black eyeball dots because then I get the right area for you to feel like you've been connected to me somehow. Now, people say, just put a dot on their foreheads like this and look at their foreheads. Okay, so I'm looking at your foreheads. Anybody feel connected? Look at the exit sign in the back of the room. Do you feel connected when I'm looking at the exit sign? And what if I do the hovercraft? No, you got to take this table and barrel in on somebody and come over here and say in your mind, I love Pam Jones, and go right back here and look at Sandy again. Look at somebody in that table. And over here's Robin Cannell. She's got black eyeball dots. You can look straight at her so she feels like, Lori, make sure she feels like she's been heard. Susan's heard me a zillion times. I could give her the clipper and go home. So what does that say to you about your eye contact? Has it been good enough to date? We have to make it so good that that person in front of you feels so connected that they trust you, believe you, and want to work for you. The easiest way to change your speaking is to up your volume. All you have to do is speak a little louder and you look bolder. Get that? Isn't that easy? Just speak a little louder and get bolder. But a while ago, I whispered something. Do you know what I whispered? What? Oh, I did do that. I said, I don't know how I got it. The one I was thinking about was, I can't tell this beautiful, elegant creature. She looks like a penguin. But then I shouted something. What did I shout? She looks like a... Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to say your name in a little whisper like this. Jan Fox. Well, that's my name. Bad directions. Say your name in a little whisper like this. Jan Fox. Say it. Now shout your name so people wonder what we're doing in here. Jan Fox. Yes. Do you know what? That is your voice range in a speech or a conversation with your boss or with a team member. Look, we had such a good day. We had such a good week last week. I am taking you to dinner. See how that works? It doesn't look weird, does it? No. Can you do that? Can you just say a little something in a whisper? And then shout something? They don't have to be one right after the other. But that keeps you from looking like the guy with his hands in his pants pocket. If you just give us voice variation. Get excited about something. If you feel passionate about something, you cannot say, I'm really passionate about it. If you do, I'm not believing it. All right? So give yourself voice volume variation. And then your pace. Have I talked like a Gatling gun in here? Yes, because Tina threatened me with an inch flight that I have to end on 45 minutes. Okay? So I go too fast. But these are the people that drive me nuts, the slow boats to China. Well, I was wondering if we could maybe Barbara, are you sick of this already? Yeah. So they drive me nuts. What do we do to those people? Tune them out, but there's something worse. Marilyn, what? We end their sentences, we interrupt them, and you know what they say? Let me finish. So they can say that fast. If you've got anybody on your team who speaks like that, speed them up, because nobody's listening. All right? So, but you can do a little bit of each in a talk. I've been really fast, and I said, I don't know how it happened. So they don't look weird. Maybe if I'm saying, do I look weird, that's not the right question. But it doesn't look weird to have that kind of unpredictability, does it? No. Isn't it more interesting? That's what you're looking for, I think. One of the biggest gifts you as a speaker to any group, any team, any client, is to give them unpredictability because you are assured they stay with you. And then they get what you're trying to do.
Before we begin tonight,
not political.
Not clear.
You'll be able to see a technology, a technology that will enable you to.
So, what is your first name? Michelle talked to me a little bit before. She said, I just hate it when people Now, researchers do more than that. They say that people don't know, that they don't think you are as intelligent as you really think you are, that you don't know your material, and that you did not prepare for that, which is a personal affront. I cannot afford to have one person in my audience thinking that about me. So there's one way to cure your ums. When do you do an when you're trying to think about what you're going to say next, right? Well, shut your mouth. An There are people in here, who, I tell you right now, who have fixed a problem. Not calling it out by name, but I can see a half a dozen people who work really hard to fix an problem. And they are more believable, they're more on target, and they're more likable, and they're bolder. So I want to see you in a big starring role at the top of the leaderboard. So on your tables you have a little comment card. I want you to fill out that little comment card for me. There it is, right? And I want you to write a comment at the bottom, and I'll stick you on my website if it's good. If it's not, I'm going to ignore it. No. I take these very seriously because I want to be better at what I do, but I'll send you my top 40 talk tips. And
can I help?
No.
You want me to help her?
No. Thank you.
What do you want to do?
I got yogurt. I do this one too. Let me do that. You try. Without your house. Go down.
now, she's heard a mama say that. Worry about yourself, go drive. But ladies, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go out of here and drive your messages home. I want you to use your messages about your mission, your purpose, and the conviction that you live by, and let your people hear you. Drive those messages home. I want you to speak boldly, speak up, and speak often. And take that little book, put it over your heart, hold it over that. That little book is not a brochure about jackboxes. It's a whole bunch of talk tips, practice plans for you. Put it over your heart. I hereby solemnly swear, raise your right hand, to do the practice plans for 21 days in a row. I am a bold speaker. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So now, I don't suppose anybody wants to know how I got that job at Channel 9. I knew she was going to ask, or I was going to. All right, here you go. So I go into Channel 9 to get an interview. And they're all in there, including the guy with the monogram on his house, and including the guy with the shiny shoes, so I know those are the bosses. They say, Ms. Fox, we're going to give you the job. I go back home to Portland, Maine. What do you think happened? Nothing. I wait for a week. What do you think happened? Nothing. I call the newsroom bulldog. What do you think happened? Nothing. I write a beautifully handwritten note. What do you think happened? So I'm walking down the street in Portland, Maine. I see this sign. We'll ship anywhere within 24 hours. So I went in and I bought 2 of these bad boys and I stuck them in a box and I said, I would hate to leave these bad boys behind, but for you I would. I want your job. What do you think happened the next day? Phone call, next day contract, and I got to live 20 years on TV in your town. So if you want something from your team or your boss, stick it in a bag, basket, or box, and if you can make it live, even better. Have yourself a great day.